I have put together a camera rig for filming smooth movements at speed that can be operated by just one person. Because the Hollywood way is to use one of these expensive setups with a whole team of people. They'll usually have at least one person positioning the camera, then a first AC who controls zoom and focus, plus someone driving the car, and then a director who can tell everyone what to do. Now, I can appreciate the amount of teamwork and skill that goes into shoots at that level, but I don't have that kind of budget for my projects. I've seen TV coverage of running races, and they seem to get by with 2 people. But I want to build a rig that lets me film all by myself, because then I'll be able to get moving shots whenever I want without needing to rent a fancy camera car. Now, most solo shooters would use one of these for stabilization on a budget, but gimbals don't always smooth out the up and down movement from each of my footsteps, especially if I try and get some speed going. So I'm going to find a way to put my camera on wheels. First up, I needed a vehicle, so I went to my hometown of Cambridge to grab my bike that had been collecting dust inside my parents' shed ever since I moved away. I'm really excited to have this bike back. Anytime I talk about Cambridge, I'm always gushing about how nice it was to cycle everywhere and the freedom it gave me when I was 12, 13 years old to be able to go and see my friends on a bike without needing to be dropped off or anything. But later on, I started to notice a creaking sound every time I pedalled. And the next morning... That's no good. Yeah, see how this is all damaged. This is really annoying. Okay, so I can't ride this. I had come all the way to Cambridge so I could use my bike for this build. But instead of taking it home, I had to leave it at my local bike shop. So the repair's taking too long, so I'm going to go and rent a bike. I started the build with a super clamp, then a NATO rail attached to a monitor that connects to my camera wirelessly. This would allow me to see my footage while I'm cycling, even if I'm not looking at the camera directly. It's the same system I've been using for my solo shooting interview setup, and all the kit packs down into a backpack, another backpack, and a shoulder bag. Backpack on my front, and this resting, and I've still got 2 free hands. Very good system. Now this little part of the video is sponsored by Hollyland. To film the interviews, I've been connecting my phone to the Pyro H transmitter and then using the Pyro 7 so I can see both angles at the same time. And Hollyland's wireless system also works with bigger crews since each transmitter can connect to up to 4 displays. I just turn the devices on and everything pairs automatically. But since I can't actually clone myself, let's go back and finish building the solo shooting bike rig. Next, I zip tied a camera base plate to the pannier bag rack on the bike and attached a gimbal. As a proof of concept, I think this has potential. Then I added a V-mount battery system to power the wireless transmitter and the wireless focus motor. Now the lenses I'm using are from Sirui. Their Saturn series are the smallest full-frame anamorphic lenses I've ever used, and this build definitely benefits from lightweight lenses. I also found an app that lets me control the gimbal with a touchscreen joystick. I've had this gimbal for years, but I didn't even know I could do this. Right now, we've got a pretty big wobble going on, so I think I need to come up with a better system than these zip ties. But first, I attached a cheap phone holder for my left hand, and another super clamp to position the wireless focus controller for my right hand. Anyway, there's something there. Finally, I redid the zip ties and added a clamp on both sides for some extra strength, as well as some string to try and add a bit more tension into the system. So with one hand, I can control the pan and the tilt, all while looking at the monitor to make sure that the framing is how I like it, and then I can even pull focus wirelessly from my other hand. You gotta admit, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I was eager to see what kind of footage we could capture with this bike. Okay, that's better. And then... Got it.
So now is the moment of truth. See how much it does wobble quite a lot. Hopefully, I mean, number one, hopefully it doesn't fall on the ground, but I also hope we can get some stable footage. So we plug in the wireless transmitter, plug in the focus motor. I feel like a pilot or something doing the pre-flight checks. Do you know what? It looks pretty good. I'm watching a movie while I'm cycling my bike. This is pretty damn cool. It looks decently stable. I think I want to play back. I can see some rotation, little shakes. So I need to be very careful about which surfaces I shoot on. Yeah, I can feel the bumps on the ground. So it makes sense that the camera can see them too. Okay, this is a smooth bit. No, actually it's not. Whenever we go over a bump, I can definitely see it. But this bit looks okay. There are moments of smoothness, but any of these little cracks do show up in the footage. This will work really well indoors, like on a basketball court, so long as the lines of the paint aren't too thick, because I feel like some basketball courts, you'd still get bumps from the paint. It's that sensitive.
I figured this spot would be a good chance to try out the gimbal control app on my phone.
The joystick is absolutely impossible. My first attempt was so poor, I'm not sure if you saw the footage you would know what I was even trying to do. So difficult. The remote needs some work. I think a physical joystick here would be much better. It's almost useless, to be honest. And focusing is kind of similar, like you'd have to be much closer and really concentrating and not looking at your surroundings. But, you know, that's the price you pay for trying to do this solo, I guess. That's okay. That's right.
I just got a lot of reports of someone going up and down with cameras. Obviously that's i360 where it goes away, so we can't have anyone on there filming. Here, absolutely fine. Yeah.
Excuse me.
The very first cyclist I approached said he'd be up for helping out with my test.
Just like for 20 seconds, you know.
In this area, the ground was smooth enough to get steady footage, and this shot just feels so much more dynamic than it would have been if I'd just stood still while he cycled past the camera. But I messed up something really basic. All of this footage is out of focus. His face is blurrier than his bike's handlebars. So as a reward for my mistake, I got to approach another stranger.
Pleasure to meet you.
Is this the control?
Yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Can you speed up a tiny bit, please?
I'm a bit embarrassed to show that I made the same mistake the second time around. I'm not sure he heard me ask him to get closer so that it'd be in focus, but I think I felt bad barking orders at this kind stranger who was helping me, so I tried to adjust the focus myself instead. But it was so difficult to look at the screen without crashing into pedestrians. When I looked at the footage,
Is that in focus? Not really.
I wasn't ready to give up just yet, but I didn't want to talk to anyone else, so instead I asked John, who had been filming behind the scenes, to help me with the test.
3, 2, 1.
So far, his skateboard footage had arguably been better than mine, so this was my real chance for Team Bike to get some buttery smooth in-focus footage. I surprised myself when I managed to successfully get the touchscreen to tilt the camera down so that I could film his wheels. but most of the footage was ruined by the bumps on the ground. However, we did manage to capture a short sequence that I'm actually happy with.
Nice. Cool, let's take a break here.
So testing the limits of this tech had been eye-opening. Although I'd built something that one person could, in theory, operate on their own, after trying that for a day, I kept thinking about the value of collaborating with a skilled crew.
As long as the ground is smooth, this is a feasible way to shoot and get some nice footage. But the hardest part is doing it solo, and I would not recommend that. Trying to do 3 jobs at once is not a good idea when you're moving, I think. After 5 years of neglecting cycling and really losing touch with that part of myself, it's been really nice to kind of spend some time on a bike and reconnect with cycling. And I think I'm now going to be someone who cycles regularly, even in this city that isn't as flat as where I grew up.
I don't have a car, so ever since I moved to this city, walking has been my primary mode of transport. So why did I wait so long to get back into cycling? The hills were my first excuse, but I also didn't have anywhere to store a bike. I just knew I didn't want to leave it outside in the elements. But it turns out those excuses were not as difficult to overcome as I had thought.
Oh yeah, this feels good.
I've had such a good time riding my bike around since starting this project, and I'm sure everyone in cars and on foot will feel similarly. Because there's one thing that we can all agree on, it's that us cyclists are the most friendly and considerate people on the roads.
Those uphills are a bit intense, but you know, the downhills are a lot more fun than walking.
Thanks for watching. I've added links in the description to all of the products that I've used in this video, including the lenses and the Hollyland Pyro 7 that actually costs less than plenty of other monitors that don't even have wireless functionality. Anyway, one last thing. I even found somewhere nice and dry to store my bike.
Instead, I just place it like that, and it's not going anywhere. But it's a bit in the way of the hallway here. So all I do is that, and now it's rock solid, and I can easily walk around it.